Having established the basic mechanics of artificial intelligence, we can look into the fun stuff. We can start applying AI. And this is really fantastic because when you have some tool which is smarter than its user, all sorts of fantasies have potential to become reality. To quote Arthur C. Clarke, any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. So today, we're going to look at two seemingly unrelated topics, that is, shapeshifting and surviving one's own death. To make these things possible, we need to have a couple of assumptions in place. First, that we do have this AI which has an intelligence greater than our own. Second, possibly because of the first, technology has advanced well beyond its current limits. And third, that obviously we have to have access to this technology fairly readily, very likely, in this case, integrated into our own biosystem. It's obviously impossible for us to imagine exactly how a greater intelligence is going to go about making things happen. But one way that we could make shapeshifting into a reality is through whole brain emulation. It's really just taking our brain and having it put through a computer. The logic is as follows. Today, recognizing my own human limitations to memory, I decide that so I never lose them, I'm going to take all of my most cherished memories and put them into an external hard drive. And then very shortly thereafter, I'm going to do that with all my memories and keep it constantly updating, because it turns out having really perfect recall is pretty handy. And while I'm at it, I don't want to have to do basic math calculations. I'll just let the computer do that as well. And I can borrow the computer's processing speed so that for any decision I'm making, I can effectively give myself more time to make those decisions. Eventually, even though my core personality, how I think about things, how I change as I grow, that's all still going to be the same. But the thinking components, all of the processing, is going to be done externally by this computer. And if this computer is what's making all of the processing decisions and my memories and rationale are all being done by it, then at some point, my physical brain is just a sort of interface with my body. Obviously, if this human brain can interface with a human body, I can also have some animal brain interface with a human body just as easily. Just take this body, put it in a so-called sleep mode, and I can spend the day as a fish or an eagle. We need to be, just a little bit careful where I'm saying I'm getting this animal that I'm going to piggyback into the brain of. There's a bit of a moral dilemma potentially, although I would argue that it's no more of a moral dilemma than, say, eating animals. And regardless, by the time this technology has come about, I think that we will be able to resolve it. That aside, just how cool would it be that I could be an eagle one day? And if a computer has already had a chance to experience this eagle brain, it can have all of the data needed to know how to fly, or if I'm a fish, how to use gills and swim, so that this animal body feels every bit as natural to me as my own human body. For that matter, when I return to my human form, when I come out of sleep mode, we can just lock those memories away so that I don't get any dissociation with my human body. Speaking of returning to human bodies, if I should take it just a little bit too far, playing literal chicken, and the worst should happen, remember, the thoughts, what makes me me, they're not actually tied to the chicken body in any way. It's all being done by a computer, and it's just being fed into the chicken brain. So, if I should get badly injured, just break the connection, and return back to human form again. Some of you probably are already several steps ahead and recognize how this relates to a sort of immortality, because in the same way that if something bad should happen to my animal form, there's no reason why I shouldn't be able to just jump ship when something bad happens to my human form. Again, very important, we're not just taking random people off the street and piggybacking into their brain. There has to be some moral consideration. I would say that one possible way is we already are able to take human hearts and make a 3D model of them, which works, out of human biomaterial. In 20 or 30 years, with oversight by a computer that's smarter than we are, who's to say that we can't just 3D print an entire human body from scratch? No one's saying that this new human body needs to be an exact replica of our old one. I could be younger, older, more fit, to say nothing of basic cosmetic changes. As long as the computer is able to take a blueprint of an existing form or make a new blueprint, it could 3D print any form that we wanted to take. This solves the issue of raising animals to be piggybacked into the brains of as well. Even use this to make animals which we don't see normally in nature, at least to a point. And if you don't like this new form that you selected, if it turns out that the body isn't to your liking, well, you had fun last week being a cat. Take a little cat vacation again, and we'll build you a new form in a jiff. As always, if you enjoyed the video, like, comment, consider subscribing so you never miss out. And until next time, see ya.